I'm joined by the author of Bomb Scare, The History and Future of Nuclear Weapons, Joe Cirincione. He's also the president of the Plowshares Fund. Joe, it's good to see you again. Thank you for joining us here.
My pleasure.
I just want to ask you first, was yesterday's test a success?
Early indications are that it was a success. We can tell that because of the international monitoring system set up under the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty Organization. We have seismic sensors, atmospheric sensors, hydroacoustic sensors, and these indicated a fairly large seismic disturbance, characteristic of that by an explosion, not a natural occurrence. It seems to indicate a bomb of about 4 to 8 kilotons. That's 4,000 to 8,000 tons. If these hold up over the next couple of days, it won't take long to do a final analysis. This would indicate that North Korea has proven the design of a nuclear device.
Okay, now this was the second time that North Korea conducted a nuclear test. So has North Korea dramatically increased its nuclear capabilities?
The first test back in October 2006 was a fizzle. It exploded at a much lower yield than was expected, than was designed to do, somewhere around 1/2 a kiloton. So yes, you could say North Korea has advanced, but it still has a very long way to go. There is a long road taking many years and many more highly observable tests to go from a proof of a design to weaponization, to be able to turn this into a sturdy, rugged weapon that can be put in a bomb for a plane, or even a longer time to put it into shrink it down to the size where you could fit it on a missile. That would require developing a warhead that could survive the stresses and temperatures and G-forces of launch and re-entry. We would have to see 5, 6, maybe as many as 10 different kinds of tests to develop that capability.
Okay, so you're saying up to 10 tests away before being able to develop that, but what's the time frame on that before North Korea has its hands on a nuclear warhead that it could put on a missile and deliver to a target?
It would take it about 2 more years from this point to actually turn this into a rugged enough weapon for a plane delivery, approximately 6 to 8 years from that to turn it into a warhead. You could be off, so let's say somewhere between 5 and 8 years they could have a warhead that they could put on a missile.
Wow. Now, what do you believe is the reason why this nuclear test occurred yesterday? Is it so that North Korea can be that one step closer to having a more sophisticated nuclear arsenal? Or, as some analysts are suggesting, it was a domestic political move to shore up political support in North Korea?
It's a combination of factors, but I believe the number one factor is domestic internal politics. The leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-il, is ailing. There is a maneuvering going on now to see who will succeed him. This is usually accompanied by efforts to shore up military support for the regime. A test does that. Also to reassure the public that the regime is strong and in firm control. A test does that. It also fits North Korea's other need. They want to be recognized as a nuclear power. They're happy to negotiate, but they want to be recognized as a power the way India is. They actually call this the India strategy. They compare themselves to India, which faced condemnation internationally, but eventually stayed the course and won recognition from many countries, including the United States. Finally, I would have to say the Obama administration dropped the ball here, and it exploded on them. They had a rather lackadaisical approach to North Korea. They had nothing like the effort with North Korea as they had with Iran. No major appearances or interviews with Asian media, for example. No high-level attention paid to North Korea. The way they paid to Iran, North Korea noticed. The administration had a general view that they could afford to neglect North Korea because North Korea had no place else to go. But North Korea will not be ignored. They raised the stakes here with the nuclear test, and they're threatening to take more provocative actions unless they get direct talks again with the United States. So a way has to be found, yes, to increase the pressure, yes, to bring China in and increase sanctions and reduce some aid, but it has to be accompanied in the very short period, the next week or two, with a high-level attention from the United States.
Okay, now there is a lot of attention at the UN Security Council at the moment, where talks are underway to come up with a resolution with teeth to thwart North Korea's nuclear intentions. But does North Korea have any intention to give up its nuclear program?
We don't know yet, and I believe that there are probably different opinions within North Korea about this. We don't know yet because we haven't seriously tried. That is to say, over the last 8 years, you've seen a variety of different options started with North Korea. When we've been negotiating and had a quid pro quo, an exchange of our economic incentives and security assurances for them stopping the program and starting to reverse the program, that has worked. When we tried coercion, that is, tightening the screws, cutting off bank accounts, slapping them with UN sanctions, that has actually backfired. They've tended to increase their program, increase their actions, refused to be coerced into compliance or collapse. So I believe that negotiations are really the only way to go, and you need China's help to do that. In October 2006, China sent a high-level official, their state counselor, their third-ranking official, to bring down the hammer on North Korea. We need that kind of Chinese cooperation now, I would say in the next week, in order to convince North Korea of the seriousness of this violation of its commitments.